And now here's Jay.
Welcome back, and hope you had a good time on that little bitty break, or the news and that kind of thing. But news isn't always that good. But I don't know, whatever. I wasn't privy to listening to that. In any case, I really hope you were here for the last half hour when Dr. Wade Pfau gave us such a great talk. Just to show you one more time his last two books. This is the last reincarnation or carnation. Speaking of flowers, because we just talked about Jennifer Flowers, this is the last book regarding how to use reverse mortgages to secure your retirement and give yourself really a better legacy. And this great, which is I think the best retirement book available on earth. This one is Retirement Planning Guidebook, Navigating the Important Decisions for Retirement Success. Also Wade Pfau, Dr. Wade Pfau. So we thank him so much for being with us. And this is the Educated Retirement Show here on KMET. And we've probably talked enough about business. So we're going to get into some very famous people's birthdays. And on this date, Aretha Franklin was born on, March 25th, 1942. And she earned her wings in 2018. And she was born as Aretha Louise Franklin, an American singer, songwriter, and pianist. She's referred to as the Queen of Soul, with global sales over 75 million records. And just some pictures, although you'll probably know what she looks like or remember that she looks like. This is probably a little later in life, a little earlier. And here is quite a bit earlier. There she is. And boy, even younger, huh? Yeah, there she is. Even younger more. Okay. And let's show. I got several records, but this is the quickest one we founded. There it is on Atlantic. There. Lady Soul. And hold on for that for just a moment. And Franklin gave a command performance at London's Royal Albert Hall in front of Queen Elizabeth. She was the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. That seems strange, but yeah. Anyway, she won a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1994 and the National Medal of Arts in 1999. I think I told you that Grandpa of Grandpa Speaks won 3 Grammys. And anyway, and she also won 18 Grammys. Aretha was presented the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005 by President George W. Bush. And did you know that Aretha was sister to vocalist Emma Franklin, who originally recorded the song Piece of My Heart, later a hit for Janis Joplin and the Big Brother and the Holding Company. She suffered from fear of flying, which affected her schedule. Now, on a business trip to New York, I don't know, 20 years ago, or was it maybe more than that? About 20 years ago, we met Aretha Franklin. She was staying at the same hotel we were, although she was walking from the hotel to her bus. She suffered from fear of flying, like I said, which affected her schedule. So she took a bus from one place to another. But she still stayed in the hotel when she was close to there because she could afford both of those. And, of course, NASA Nelly, who is big on autographs, says to Jay and Kathleen. I can't read all of it, but it just says to. Oh, it's got a date on there, 1998. So that tells you when it was, huh? Okay, but there it is. And of course, my wife likes to frame these things, and we have a hallway with a gallery of autographs. So there you go, just for your information. So Aretha's father C.I. Franklin died after being shot by a burglar. Wow. She has an asteroid named after her. That's cool. Let's hope it doesn't hit Earth. Franklin always insisted on being paid $25,000 in cash as an advance of her shows. That's kind of like what I get here, right, Sean? No, don't answer that. And the balance in a check afterwards. So there. So yeah, there we are. So who else had a birthday real close to now? And that just a couple of days ago was Jeremy Wade. And I really like his shows, except right at the beginning and sometimes right at the end, they show people being torn apart by river monsters. So I usually look the other way the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes. But other than that, very interesting. Mm-hmm. So, did I say when he was born? March 23rd? He's 65 years old. I was hoping he was as old as me, but he ain't. And then again, not too many people are. Jeremy John Wade is a British television presenter and author of books on angling, means a fisherman, right? A freshwater detective and a biologist, best known for his shows River Monsters and Dark Waters, although River Monsters was better. Seen on Animal Planet and the Travel Channel, and Jeremy was born in Ipswich, England. He became interested in fishing at a young age since his family lived near the banks of the Suffolk River. I became interested in eating fish, specifically lox and other smoked whitefish and cod as a young man, but I never did what he did. He has a degree in zoology from Bristol University and teaching certificate in biological sciences from the University of Kent, and speaks Portuguese, French, and Spanish. It was during a journey to India in 2005 in the Himalayan foothills that the concept for a television series, Animal Planet's River Monsters, first presented itself. Here's some pictures. If you know who we're talking about, you'll recognize him, but he's a bit younger here than we see him on television now. And here he is hugging a fish, which is, what he loves. He doesn't kill a fish. He always lets them loose. However, you do see him cutting up dead fish to use as bait. So his record may not be 100%, but there he is. And here he is with one of those big suckers. And he also caught that huge catfish that we talked about that one time on the show. Look at the teeth on that sucker. And that's what he kind of looks like, Jeremy. I mean, looks like these days. Wow. Is that? Wow. And, okay, so here is the show Dark Waters, where they kind of used him as a narrator for other mysteries that happened at sea. To me, it's not quite as successful as River Monsters, but then again, it's just me. And so before River Monsters, Wade worked as a secondary school biology teacher, tour leader, motorcycle dispatch rider, supply teacher, art tutor, translator, dishwasher, and newspaper reporter. And he is a self-taught writer with several articles on poaching. And I don't mean poaching fish, although poached salmon does sound awfully good, but this is not the kind of poaching. Fair trade, natural history, and of course, fishing. And during his journeys abroad, that is to other countries, he has caught malaria, been threatened at gunpoint, and survived a plane crash. He was jailed overnight as a suspected spy. That was on TV. Almost drowned, which seems to happen all the time, but maybe that's some drama that's added. And had an Alaskan bear steal his fish. Well, an Alaskan bear or Bigfoot would be fine to steal any fish that... In fact, I do. Remember the one Godzilla with not Broderick Crawford, but Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
They put all those fish in, and it brought Godzilla. I always think, carry some raw fish around with you, and if you start to get attacked by Bigfoot, throw them out for Bigfoot. But on the other hand, it might make Bigfoot in general not afraid of people, and being afraid of that, well, not afraid of them, but afraid of contact. It's probably one thing that's kept them alive this long. In 2020, Wade began a new television series, Mysteries of the Deep, where he explores underwater mysteries ranging from the Loch Ness Monster to the Bermuda Triangle. And that, in turn, brings us to Elton John, who is not a fish, I don't think, although the glasses he wears sometimes reminds me of fish. Give me one of those with the glasses. Let's take a look at those with the glasses. There's two of them, I think. Yeah, either one. Now, does that look like a fish or what? What do you think? I don't know for sure. But if that doesn't, this probably does. Huh? And if that doesn't, well, you know what? This doesn't either. But he's got glasses. Check these out. This is early. Honky Chateau. I used to be a real junkie for his music, and you know what? I still like him a great deal. What's on this one? Rocket Man is actually on this record, believe it or not. And it's a really, really good record. Really good stuff, I think. Great voice. And this was, I guess, another one of my favorites. Do we have other pictures, Sam? Yeah, as a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
Empty Sky. Remember that one, boys and girls? Stereo Supreme. Oh, this is a mono. Okay, that's okay with me. So many of the reissues, especially the early jazz stuff in the 50s, and a lot of the rock stuff. Actually, a lot of the, is coming out in mono now. Come on now, Kathleen. You know what I'm thinking of, right? No? Boy, I'm telling you, getting old. I better call up Wade Pfau, Dr. Pfau, and find out what's happened with my memory. Dark Side of the Moon. Come on now, Sean would know if you don't. Yeah.
Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd, there you go. They're coming out with the earlier ones now all on mono for audiophile. Now here's another picture that kind of looks fishy. He is not and never has been known as that flamboyant, although he's got that red piano, and yes, he is flamboyant to some degree.
Remember his high-heeled shoes?
The high-heeled shoes, yeah. He's not a Liberace, however. And, of course, I got one. Oh, we got some youngster pictures we haven't shown, have we?
Oh, no.
Well, we got another album here. These are people. Bernie Taupin, of course, wrote most of the lyrics, and there he is. And here he is as a youngster at the piano already. Huh? What do you think? Not bad, huh?
You totally see him in this.
Yeah, I just totally, man. Well, totally see him here, too. Although the smile looks a little bit like the Joker, but that's as far as it goes there. So, let me get that picture up there. Okay, so he was born March 25th, 1947, which makes him 1 year younger than me. Sir Elton Hercules John, and my middle name's not Hercules either, an English singer, pianist, composer, selling over 300 million records, making him one of the most successful music artists of all time. Elton left school at 17 to pursue a career in music against his father's wishes to work at a career in banking, which is what I ended up doing. That's not, no. I matriculated in biology, and I've been in banking ever since. His father was a trumpet player and performed in a semi-professional big band that played at military dances. John remembers being immediately hooked on rock and roll when his mother brought home records by Elvis Presley and Bill Haley and the Comets. We just played the other day it was basically best hits of Elvis, but it was a really, really good audiophile pressing, and it sounded very, I mean, it went right from the beginning all the way through, and it was very, very enjoyable. He started playing his grandmother's piano as a young boy. I showed you a picture of that, and performed at parties and family gatherings at age 7. He then began formal piano lessons. He won a scholarship at the Royal Academy of Music as he played back a 4-page piece by Handel after hearing it for the first time. He enjoyed playing Chopin. That ain't easy. And Bach, which I'll take Bach over Chopin. I mean, Bach is to me like I need a little bit every day for that energy. And sang in the choir. He said he sometimes would skip classes and ride around on the London Underground. That's cool. At 15, he was hired as a pianist at a nearby pub and played a range of popular standards as well as his own songs, and began to wear horn-rimmed glasses to imitate Buddy Holly. So there, how do you like them apples? After he and some friends formed a band called Bluesology, the band backed touring American musicians like the Isley Brothers and Patti LaBelle. Elson also ran errands for a music publishing company and did solo gigs at a London hotel bar. He has written with English songwriter Bernie Taupin for over 50 years, even to this day. Elton met him when he answered an advertisement for talent placed in a music publication, New Musical Express by Liberty Records. Taupin writes the lyrics on his own and sends them to John, who then writes music for them before recording the songs. That, and I don't know for sure, but I think that's kind of opposite from the way most people do their songwriting. The two are never in the same room during the process. John claims they have never had, maybe he never met, no, they have had an argument professionally or personally. They have collaborated on over 30 albums. And Elton John has received 5 Grammy Awards, 2 more than Grandpa Speaks, 2 Academy Awards. I'd like to know what those were, again, obviously for music. 2 Golden Globes, a Tony Award, American Music Award, Billboard Music Award, and the Kennedy Center honor, to name a few. He was knighted by Queen Elizabeth for service to music and charitable services. He received France's highest civilian award, the Legion d'Honneur, the Legion of Honor, by President Macron, who called Elton a melodic genius, as well as praising his work on behalf of the LGBT community. And did you know Elton is a reformed drug addict, alcoholic, bulimic? What is that word?
I think
Well,
too much.
Bulimic. He's one of those. He's recovered from one of those, and also has epilepsy. I did not know that until this was researched. His song Philadelphia Freedom, would you like to sing some of that?
No.
Oh, you did for me the other day. Was a tribute to tennis star Billie Jean King, and he has played the piano since he was 4 years old. And John co-founded the restaurant Le Dome in Hollywood in 1977. Yes, I've been there once, I think. I don't think you have been. I think I was with Pat and Roz, and it was just the 3 of us. And it's been closed since 2007, but in its heyday, celebrities visited frequently, such as Danny Elfman, Richard Gere, Elizabeth Taylor, Jeff Goldblum, Roger Moore, Sylvester Stallone, Gregory Peck, Peter Falk, just to name a few. And we need to know whether Jeff Goldblum, we should look that up and report next week, is still actually playing or has gone back to playing at what used to be Sarno's, where I got drunk more than anywhere else in my college years, on in LA on what's that street that I can. Anyway, honorable mentions. David Lean. He's pretty important to be an honorable mention, but I think we've talked about him before, so that's that. So let me show you a picture of. There he is. Now I like that picture because it makes him look like a some kind of an action hero on his own. Uh-oh. This picture turned out a little weird, but actually he had a whole face at one time. So, in any case, David Lean was an English film director, screenwriter, and editor. He is widely considered one of the most influential directors of all time. He directed large-scale epics and small ones too that I think are amongst his best. But The Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Zhivago, to name a few. He directed only about 20 films, which I find hard to believe. And he received 7 Academy Award nominations for director and won twice. And, we'll give it another minute. I think we'll be taking a short break. Short list of David Lean films. We'll just start it anyway. Brief Encounter. He did a series with Noel Coward that I thought were amongst his best. That one is Brief Encounter. Oliver Twist, or Oliver's Twist, is actually a big band record of Cy Oliver. But anyway, and this he did, a series of those novels also. That's why I find it hard to believe there was only 20. But let's see how we're doing on time. Brief Encounter was 1945. Great Expectations might be one of my all-time favorites of him, and I know we've got the movie. We showed it actually not that long ago, but so be it. Oliver Twist, Bridge on the River Kwai, and there we are, Bridge on the River Kwai. This is the soundtrack, but I only remember one tune, and so do you probably. Lawrence of Arabia, and that, of course, has great music, and there is Lawrence of Arabia. And with that, I think we'll take us a short break. Thank you so much, Sean. That's quick thinking, quick work on your part. And you're always good at that. We were in the middle of Lawrence of Arabia, so that means we only have 2 hours to go on that movie. Anyway, a great film. I used to watch this so often, especially like Saturday mornings at home, because it's like 4 hours or close to it. There is a laser disc of it, but, just because it shows a bigger picture. Dr. Zhivago, which I read the book too. I don't know why, but I did. And there's that. Winner of 5 Academy Awards. A brilliant production, so it says. Alec Guinness. Well, those were the days that, if you... well, I shouldn't say that, so I won't. Because he did use Omar Sharif. In any case, Passage to India, which I don't have a copy of, nor do I have a copy of Ryan's Daughter. So there. So, we get into this little thing every now and then about things to do that are not that far away or easy to get to by train or whatever else. And today we're going to talk about, let me do the picture first. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to talk about. It's not that far. Come on now. It's not that far, Mount Baldy. Hold on for that. So I'm going to be quoting now from a website that's called Only in Your State. I have the Southern California thing of that, and I take things from it. The headline is "The Cozy Restaurant Tucked Away in a Southern California Forest Most People Don't Know About." Well, some people do. After a strenuous hike along a scenic Southern California forest trail, or actually drive right there like I would do, there's nothing more enchanting than settling inside a cozy restaurant nestled in the woods for a refreshing beverage and meal. No matter how many times you explore the Angeles National Forest, you'll never get tired of this rustic restaurant with a perfect menu to satisfy your hearty appetite after a day on the trail. Well, when I was much younger, and I was brought up a lot in Pomona, used to go to Mount Baldy all the time. Anybody remember Padua Hills? Anyway, and of course used to go swimming in those puddles, and it was freezing, but I didn't care back then. I don't know what this is, but it looks awful good. It came off their menu. It looks to me like a medium rare patty melt with onion rings. So I'm ready to. How about the cut today? No, we've got something else today. Okay. Anyway, just throwing that. So you can do a strenuous scenic walk, but I would say you could drive right there. If you drive up Mount Baldy or Mountain Avenue, whatever it is, it's on the right side. It's not that far up. You don't have much in the way of mountain driving. In fact, you don't have any at all, as I recall. So it's been like 2.5 years since I've been there, but um, there's nothing more enchanting sitting inside, but you don't have to sit inside in nice weather. They have a really nice patio also. So, located in the San Gabriel Mountains, I just told you where it was, and Sierra Pelona Mountains, whatever, I've never heard that before, you'll find one of Southern California's most prized destinations. Okay, well, the Angeles National Forest is what they're calling the most prized thingy there. So, nestled within the forest, Mount Baldy is a scenic destination best known for hiking, camping, skiing, and other outdoorsy activities. Now, I think we did, I have to look back because my memory ain't that good, but I think we did a what to do for that restaurant at the top of Mount Baldy, at the very top of the ski lift. Now, that's been a long time for me. And when I was much younger, I'd go there with cousin David, and he would sit on the inside, being the older. He's so much older than I am. And every time we passed one of the towers, he would push against things, and it would make the seat swing back and forth, which would scare the you-know-what out of me. Anyway, after a long day of playing outdoors, or driving right there, in the fresh air, you're bound to work up an appetite, or you already got one like me. And good thing there's a cozy little restaurant, it's not that little, in the woods in the center of Mount Baldy Village. Then you see a sign, you'll know you've hit the jackpot. Doesn't it look inviting? Well, I showed you what this sign looked like. Mount Baldy Lodge Restaurant can be found at 6777 Mount Baldy Road, Mount Baldy, California, 91759. 6777 Mount Baldy Road, Mount Baldy, California, 91759. And you'll see a big sign that looks like that. I don't know about Route 66, but who cares? Anyway, Mount Baldy Restaurant. So, it is located, this rustic gem, let me see, located at an elevation of 4,000 feet. Now, you know who seems to know a lot about this is Daryl McCants on his show. I'm going to have to ask him some more about it. Maybe he can get the owner or owners of that place to be a guest. You'll definitely feel like you're able to get away from it all when you head inside this forest hideaway that's surrounded by an abundance of oak and pine trees. That's true. Stepping inside the restaurant or onto the patio feels like walking into an old rustic lodge. The spot is relaxed and casual, so no need to dress up like we're going to anyway. showing up in your hiking clothes, which would be, I would show up in hiking clothes, but certainly not much hiking, is perfectly acceptable at Mount Baldy Lodge Restaurant. And on a chilly day, there's nothing better than grabbing a seat by the roaring fire. And there is a nice fireplace there, as I recall. And when it's warm and sunny outside, you'll be delighted to grab a spot outside in the fresh forest air on the outdoor patio, which I did mention already. And on the menu, you'll find lots of sandwiches, comfort food, big juicy burger is always a good way to go, or a flavorful Philly steak sandwich with lots of gooey cheese. And go ahead and indulge in a side of onion rings. A hike in the woods, you've earned it. Well, you can tell yourself you took a hike in the woods. You don't have to, if you're anything like me, you don't have to do it. Just tell yourself that you did it. And I'm reading again from the article. Doesn't this look like the perfect spot to check out after a long hike in the woodsy forest? And again, you can find Mount Baldy Lodge Restaurant at 6777 Mount Baldy Road. But remember, there's a low road and a high road, but I think it's after the two meet. But, take the low road anyway.
You might run into Bigfoot.
Yeah, you might run into Bigfoot, although I haven't heard of any Bigfoot sightings except for me when I used to, before I lost all that weight. People would, anyway, that's another thing. So it just says another rustic southern. Make sure to stop at the. Oh, let me see what this is. I'm just curious. I'm researching this as you do it. Joe's Spuds, huh? Well, I don't know anything about that. It's between Joe's Spurs Steakhouse. Well, okay. Show some good pictures of it. And big fire. And I've been there. Now, I used to do a lot of driving between those two places. That is here and Las Vegas, because I had like up to 4 offices there. But that's another story. All together. And we'll try to bring that up on a future show. But anyway, what happened on this day? Well, let's see what happened on this day in history. The film Sucker Punch was released on March 25th, 2011. This is an American psychological fantasy action film directed by Zack Snyder, who directed 300, which I didn't care for that much, Watchmen, which I loved. I read the book. Wait a minute. Let me see that. I don't know if anybody read this. This has always come up as one of the best or finest 100 novels of the 20th century. And I mean, it is fantastic, even though it's got plenty of pictures. Do I show? Let me see if it shows enough pictures. But, it's obviously that kind of, but my God, it is brilliant. I mean, brilliant. And Dawn of the Dead, to name a few. It stars Emily Browning, John Hamm, and Scott Glenn. And there's the DVD of it. And here is, you remember Blockbuster? They used to have these little cards as placeholders. Well, they were just giving these away when they were closing up. So, well, there you go. I got one. Got a bunch of others, too. Anyway, just to mention a few, Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, 300. I kind of like Zach's films. A lot of people, yes, a lot of people don't, but he's got enough of a following to keep going. A young woman is committed to a mental institution and collects items she needs to escape. She enters a series of fantasy worlds where she and her fellow inmates are strong warriors. It is described by Snyder as Alice in Wonderland with machine guns. That's not too bad, but you know what? They had these Nazi-type soldiers they were fighting. They were all steam-powered. And I love steampunk stuff. And so does Nassanelli, who does a lot of her photography around steampunk issues. The film Indestructible Man was released on March 25th, 1956. There you go. The Amazing Transparent Man is also on this amazing double disc classic. Okay. Somehow, I don't remember this film that much, do you?
Svengoolie played it.
No, well, Svengoolie, obviously. You know, Svengoolie had
See.
some really good had a really good film on last week, The Ghoul, which was an English film that starred Frankenstein.
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff, really good, and it was just kind of discovered, and they were brought it back to life. And of course, tomorrow, which you won't miss, of course, is The Beast with Five Fingers. And the film Indestructible Man was released. This film was directed by Jack Pollexfen, Pollexfen, who produced The Man from Planet X. Now that, how come I don't have that to show?
Oh,
My God,
yeah.
one of the most important films in our life, The Man from Planet X. And who is it whose autograph we got? And
Robert Clark.
Robert Clark, who is the main man in there, and he retired to become a mortgage broker. And we met him before he passed on at the theater on Broadway near 9th Street, the Orpheum, on when they were giving beautiful, huge theater when they were doing some Halloween things right across the street, kind of across the street from the newer Ace Hotel, downtown LA. Anyway, it starred Lon Chaney Jr. Death row inmate Charles the Butcher Benton seeks revenge on his crooked lawyer who double-crossed him. Now that does sound familiar. After his execution, what's new? A bizarre experiment brings him back to life to find the man who had him condemned. Now, I do remember that.
Don't you? Yeah.
I does remember
he hardly
that.
said two words in the movie. I think he was just so.
Who hardly said two words?
Lon Chaney Jr.
Lon Chaney. Well, the fewer words he says, the better, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, he wasn't like his old man, that's for sure. But he certainly had a good career. The Conqueror was released on March 28th, 1956. Now, this is a very important film in a lot of ways, not in any of the ways that it was supposed to be. I think you can get a good picture there. And it says, I am Temujin, barbarian. I fight, I love, I conquer like a barbarian. Okay. So be it. The film was directed by Dick Powell, who didn't direct a whole lot, and starred John Wayne. This may have been the only film attempt. I have to look that up. But it starred John Wayne, Susan Hayward, and Agnes Moorehead. It was considered as a critical flop and one of the worst films in the 1950s, and better yet, one of the worst movies ever made. I don't know that. I haven't seen it one way or the other. But what makes this film so important in a very underhanded way is that of the 220 film crew, 91 developed cancer during their lifetime, while 46 died from it. And it was learned that much of the filming was done in Utah and surrounding locations near nuclear test sites. It was actually done in, what's the name of that city? We could look it up. It's just inside the St. George, which was known as Nuclear City, because so many of the people who lived there also developed cancer and died. It was in the direct, let's just say the wind blew directly over to St. George from the test sites in Nevada. So we know that Agnes Moorehead passed away from that, Susan Hayward, John Wayne, and Dick Powell also from just being there. So that definitely makes it one of the worst films of all time. And of course, we were told there is no problem in, nuclear fallout at that time. So we are just about at the time for some jokes from NASA Nellie. Do we hear her coming into? I'm not sure whether she's coming around to. Do you have any jokes for
I
us,
do.
NASA Nellie?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Lay it on us, NASA Nellie. We've got a few minutes here,
Okay.
so we can actually pretend we're laughing. No, go ahead.
Why aren't koalas considered bears?
I thought they were. Why aren't koalas Why aren't koalas?
Considered bears.
I don't know. Why aren't they?
They don't have the right qualifications.
Oh my God. I'm not sure. Is that good? Is that a good one, you think?
Yeah.
Why don't you give the punchline one more time?
They don't have the right qualifications.
Okay. Go on, please.
What did the grape do when it got stepped on?
What does the grape do when it gets stepped on, other than squish?
It let out a little wine.
Oh, now that ain't bad. I think that deserves a repeat. Also, since we need to fill another minute or two, go ahead and repeat it.
What did the grape do when it got stepped on? It let out a little wine.
Wow.
Here's one.
Yeah, here's one.
What's the difference between a poorly dressed man on a unicycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle?
Gee, I don't know. What's the difference between a poorly dressed man? Is it poorly dressed?
Poorly dressed man on a unicycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle.
I couldn't even guess.
Attire.
Oh my God. That is good, actually.
Yeah.
Now, but a unicycle does have a small tire in the back.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I won't get technical. All right.
Why do birds fly north in the spring?
In the spring. Why do birds fly north in the spring?
It's faster than walking.
Well, that's true, isn't it? Okay. We'll accept that as a joke.
Peter Pan is a terrible boxer. Whenever he throws a punch, it never lands.
You're going to have to repeat that. I'm a little slow.
Peter Pan is a terrible boxer. Whenever he throws a punch, it never lands.
Okay, why don't you go on to the next one then, while I kind of catch up on that one.
I think that we did this one not too long ago. What do you call a cow with a twitch?
I don't remember that, but what do you call a cow with a twitch?
Beef jerky.
Oh, that is good, and we did do that before, but I do like that one. So repeat it again.
What do you call a cow with a twitch?
What do you call a cow with a twitch?
Beef jerky.
All right, that's a good one. I like that one. I'll accept that one.
Oh, another one?
Oh, yeah.
A cop started crying while he was writing me a ticket. I asked him why, and he said it's a moving violation.
Oh, my God. Say it again.
A cop started crying while he was writing me a ticket. I asked him why, and he said it's a moving violation.
Oh, wow. That's one maybe I wish I'd never heard, but go on.
Let's see. Well, my friend, I've done this one before. My friend Jack said he communicates with vegetables. Jack and the beans talk.
Oh.
Yep. That's it.
That's all you got? Okay, well, we got through everything. So let me just follow up because we got a few minutes, which is fine. And I wrote some stuff here, so let's see where we can start so we can finish it off. Getting back to, there are a few reasons why it is wrong to wait to get a reverse mortgage. And that's especially comes up with using it as a last resort. And reverse mortgage proceeds are also based on interest rates. And guess what? Long-term interest rates are still historically low. So, and that means homeowners currently qualify for a higher principal limit, which means a higher benefit, whether that means taking cash or just putting money into your line of credit, which will grow over time, or using it as Dr. Pfau explained earlier in the show, using it like a 10-year payment, which means every month you get a specific amount, and that amount is not taxable. So in a way, it's a lot like a Roth IRA. And if a homeowner waits and rates go up, they will qualify for less with a reverse mortgage. Well, there's no way to know what future rates are going to be. Most analysts believe they should and will go up, and this could drastically reduce an applicant's proceeds. Now, there are two other things that have to do with proceeds or benefit. One is your age, and one is the value of your home. I'm going to throw out that two of those three items definitely are going to go up. Even if the home values stall for a while, they will go up. And your age, yeah, your age is going to go up. There's no question about that to me or anybody else. I wish we could put an end, not an end to our life. I mean, stop it for a while, and just kind of hang around at one age or another. If you could stop your age at one age, what would it have been? Or what would it be?
Sure.
Middle 30s, maybe? Late 30s? Sure. I don't know. Early 40s, maybe?
10.
10 years old? Yeah, all right. Well, 6 for me. Anyway, well, I guess I'm mentally not more than 6 anyway. Waiting sacrifices compounding line of credit growth. So remember, the line of credit grows at the same value that you're paying. So one offsets the other and obviously works as a hedge against rising interest rates. It works great as a hedge against inflation. Oop, that's kind of a catchword these days. And works as a hedge against lowering property values, which I don't think are going to happen in any big degree. So homeowners who get a reverse mortgage at age 62 are not required to borrow the funds for which they qualify. In fact, unused principal will grow in the borrower's favor. That means the line of credit. At current interest rates, plus 0.5% for the mortgage insurance, if a homeowner gets a reverse mortgage now, the available line of credit will grow even faster as interest rates go up. So as a friend of mine once said, get yourself a line of credit while rates are low and then hope for rates to go up. That'd be just like winning the lottery. Well, be something like that. Many reverse applicants who understand this concept want interest rates to rise, and this increasing credit line of value creates future security. So we'll talk more about that in the future. I think we've talked about that enough on this show. But I do, before I go, I want to make sure that you all know that Jay will be on the same corner in front of the same cigar store next week. I want to thank Dr. Pfau for being such a fantastic guest. I want to thank Sean for being such a fantastic engineer, and especially all of our listeners. I really thank all of you. And remember, you can hear all the shows on YouTube. You can see and hear all the shows on kmet.com or on my website, theeducatedretirement.com. So until next week, please, everyone, stay safe, stay productive, and have a great time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.